Hey there, Starcraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of Starcraft Brood War Remastered! Today, it's going to be a PvP between Mini and Stork here on Transistor. Left side of the map, it is going to be the teal Protoss player. His name is Mini, playing under his alias Musapa. And in the top right-hand corner, it is the red Protoss player, Stork. Had some requests on the channel recently for some Stork replays and some PvP, so I figured I would just combine them and do a PvP featuring Stork. I don't know who wins. Got this off of the foreign Brood War Discord server. If you're interested in a Discord server for English-speaking Brood War fans, then just search Foreign Brood War in your Discord app, or on the website, or wherever you get Discord, and you will be there. Or maybe just use Google. I haven't tried that, but I feel like it would work. Alright, so PvP is usually about storm drops and reaver drops and shuttles going all over the place, but sometimes, like in a PvP I recently cast, it's just about dragoons and reavers on the battlefield facing off against each other with archons and zealots as support. So here we go, PvP. I think this is my favorite matchup of all of StarCraft Brood War. Mirror matchup, anyway. My favorite matchup is ZVP, so... maybe my favorite race is Protoss, but no. My favorite race is Zerg and has been since 1998. I've had a couple people accuse me of being biased against Zerg in my casts, which, I don't know. I don't have any bias against Zerg, but I'm glad I'm hiding my preference for Zerg so well that you think I'm biased against them. It's kind of weird that way. Anyway, nothing too crazy here. Both players going for effectively the same darn build. Going for scouts, going for gateways first. Keeping it at home. Walling off makes no sense because dragoons will show up and start smashing that wall very soon, and just don't do it, man. Walling off in PvP is dumb. Pro tip number 1. Is that a pylon? That is. Oh, did he block the expansion? He blocked a potential expansion here. That might... Transistor's a weird map. It always has been. So yeah, you know what? That's the expansion. So he did just block off the expansion. So no quick nexus can be possible here from Mini. I kind of like it. And then looks like Stork's going to go for his quick expansion based on this probe just sitting here doing nothing. And we'll see. Oh, Zealot's going to come right open. You know what? Zealot's going to go for some pressure first. He's not even going to check the expansion at all. Zealot already out for Stork, so he's ready for it. It's going to be some Zealot versus Zealot battles, which is super dumb. But it's something you have to do. You can't let a Zealot come in here and start willing on your probes because a bunch of them will die. Oh, he does see this. He has to make another Zealot to come over and shut it down because he wants to expand right now, but he can't. Oh, and then the block here too. Did Musapa? Yes, Musapa just blocked the expansion. So both players are doing effectively the same darn thing in every possible way. Where is our battle? There isn't one? I guess not. What the heck is this? And now he's throwing up a gateway. He's like, hey, good luck shutting that down while you try to expand. Both players are blocking the other's expansions with gateways. This is hilarious. Oh man, I'm on board with this whole thing right now. Everybody do this in every PvP you ever play from now on. This is fantastic. I kind of feel like, I feel like Stork's the initiator here, and then Mini's like, fine, I'll do it too if you're doing it. I'll jump off that bridge if you tell me it's cool. Is there more? This is more Mini stuff in here, you guys. These are teal on the mini map. Wow. All right, so nobody's going to expand for the rest of this game. We're just going to keep throwing up buildings for the other player to kill inside their expansion locations, if that's okay with you. Both players' cybernetic scores are basically finishing at about the same time, though Stork's is a bit faster. The block. All right, are we done? Are we done, says Stork? Are we done, says Mini? Can we expand now? Of course we can. Both players expanding at about the same time. That's just adorable. All of that works so they both can expand at the same time. Meanwhile, there is a scout here for Mini, checking out what the next tech is going to be. Probably a robotics facility. It makes a lot of sense. You know, both the reavers we talked about, the shuttles we talked about, observers are really nice too, and there it is. Robotics facility from Mini coming up over here on the left side and on the right side. From, oh, actually, Citadel of a Dune. I took that for granted. Wow, Mr. Citadel of a Dune. How interesting. This has got to be Archons, right? Maybe going for quick Storm, but boy, howdy, there are going to be Reavers. And Reavers are okay with Storm. They don't care about it. Reavers and Shuttles also pretty good against Archons, too. So I'm not sure what Stork is trying to do, but we'll check it out. We'll keep an eye on it. Nevertheless, Scouting Probe does get picked off there by the first Dragoon of the day. out of Stork. And the second Dragoon of the day is here from Mini. So what are we looking at? 3 Zealots and a Dragoon here. 3 Zealots and a Dragoon. Very standard stuff so far. Nobody really deviating too much, except again for the Citadel of Adun. Is it for legs? No, man. It's a quick Templar Archives. It is a 5-minute Templar Archives here out of Stork, which sounds a lot of fun, honestly. I mean, let's see what we get. Very fast storm drops. I mean, it does make sense to get this before the robotics facility, because you want to be able to make the High Templar, get them energy for Storm, research Storm, and then you need the shuttle, right? You don't need the shuttle right away in that situation, but that's the problem here, is that shuttle coming up, Robotics Bay there. So you're going to get, effectively what I'm saying here is that shuttle drops are faster than storm drops. And I feel like they're both about the same, I don't know, both about the same in effectiveness. I don't know that anyone is necessarily better than the other. Storm drop might be a little bit better just because of the randomness involved with the Reaver shots. And those Scarabs sometimes getting stuck behind mineral lines or just not actually hitting anything. Whereas Storm's going to hit something. It might not get a whole mineral line on you, but it's going to hit something. It's really, really rare to just whiff on a Storm entirely. Although I guess it is possible if you're bad, but these players are not bad. That's what I'm trying to say. So Observatory coming in from Mini. Wants to be able to scout with it, I guess. There are DTs on the way from Stork. Holy crap. I didn't even think about that. A DT rush out of Stork with his Templar Archives. So the good news, again, for Mini, we already said this, is that he's got a Observatory on the way. He will have observers, and these DTs really shouldn't do much of anything, if anything. Assuming we get an observer quickly here out of the robotics facility, and by golly, we are not. So, there we go. One's on the way. So it should get here in time to stop this Dark Templar harassment from doing much of anything. Once again, these guys walking about with their swords unsheathed makes no sense. They really should put that somewhere safer, so it's not accidentally like nicking against their legs and their arms as they're walking. Because look at them swinging those swords back and forth, man. That's dangerous. That's dangerous stuff. Anyway, this is a Reaver drop. Saw that coming up. And a pylon. Actually scouting to see if it's safe to go this way, I guess. DTs do get a Dragoon. Where's my observer? Says Mini. I made one. Where is it? There it is. Observer here. And it's only one observer, though. The DTs split up to go after both of these bases. Oh, that's amazing. That DT gets wiped out. This DT is not sure what to do with himself. He does have 2 kills. Make it 3. Well, make it 3 now. And then he's going to die too. So like I said, minimal damage there. Still pretty damaging. But here comes the Reaver drop. And oh, great pull. That is a beautiful pull. Look at that. Oh, 1 probe sacrifices himself. So the Reaver shot only hits 1 worker instead of 17. Same deal there. I mean, I guess it counts as something. It counts as a kill there. But those do cost 25 minerals per Scarab. So, I mean... yeah, they cost a bunch there. So trading 25 minerals for 1 probe, I guess that's a fair trade if you're into that kind of thing. It's not too bad. Not what you want, but also not the worst thing in the world. Dragoon count starting to increase by both players. More Reavers on the way from Mini. Stork is working on an observer of his own. Probably doesn't anticipate Dark Templar just because that Reaver drop was so fast you can't have Dark Templar tech yet. And the Reaver drop going back home. I thought they might stick around here a little bit, maybe swing back in later, but there are Dragoons on permanent station there to make sure that doesn't happen, and Dragoons covering the natural base too. You want to do that. You want to be doing that here. Any shots you can get on that shuttle are good shots, because the shuttle is what makes this possible. Without the shuttle, the whole thing just stops for the Reaver dropping player. Observer moving out, and might get picked off here by other Observer. Some dead air space, though, so not too much of a concern, although getting away from the dead air space. Run! No! Alright, well, you're out. I mean, Observers are really great units in that they're permanently cloaked and they can see cloaked things, but man, the trade-off is that they have about 4 HP. Get killed pretty darn quickly. Dragoon versus Dragoon battle here with some Zealots. This looks like a bigger army for Stork for sure. Get out of there. Vinny recognizes this is not a good place for me. Let's go back home to where we have reinforcements. Oh, he doesn't have the Observer to spot on the high ground either here. He should have waited. He should have just waited with the Observer here to where it could stay alive for a little bit longer anyway, and then the army could come to save it when the Dragoons started picking it off. Third base on the way from Stork. Looking good. Looking good in the neighborhood here. Third base actually on the way now from Mini too. So both players expanding at about the same time. They have these timings written down in a book somewhere probably. Or they did at one time. Hey, look, Reaver drops. 2 Reavers here doing some good work. Not bad. I mean, really just fighting against the Dragoons mostly. Oh gosh, one of these shuttles is gonna die. Oh, it doesn't. The Dragoons all die instead, and suddenly we gotta get out. Oh, remember what I said about getting stuck? Oh, exploding nothing. There we go. That Dragoon does go down. The Reaver drop doing some work here, and again, the fact there are no Dragoons here is a problem for Stork all of a sudden. Major damage being taken. Man, getting stuck. Get up here. Alright, that works. I mean, sure, the Zealots were going to kill that thing anyway, but so good, I suppose. Meanwhile, are you trying to go back home, or where is the army for Stork? Are they going to deal with this is the question. And Archon does show up very good against Zealots. And then the drop. Where did the drop go? It's over here? Oh, it's way over here. Oh, did that explode harmlessly? This is what I'm telling you about. Oh, and it's out. Okay, so it did some damage, but the damage is over now. The threat is just completely removed from the battlefield. The Reaver drops, for now, are complete. In production, more Reavers and a shuttle, actually. So we're back. We're back instantly for Mini. He's going for more of that stuff. Oh, and a DT from Stork actually does manage to kill Mini's third base, while third base for Stork is just fine on the other side. Fantastic. Fantastic. Wonderful. Wonderful play here from both of these players so far. Damage done by Mini. Stork counters with his own damage. You have any kills? 3 kills. Not shabby. And the Nexus count as a kill? I want to say that it probably does. 117 to 109 supply. Stork has a minor lead. It's nothing to where you're going to call the winner of the game at this point, but it is minor. Observatory sniped off is pretty good because, again, Stork does have that Dark Templar production and that technology available. Does that supply block? It does. It does supply block Mini temporarily there, which means no reinforcements are going to be forthcoming anytime soon. Does have 5 Zealots in production, though, so maybe that's going to work out on his own. Templar Archives on the way here, too. Meanwhile, Stork pulls back, doesn't like what he sees in this army. +1 attack is done for both players. And if I remember right, PvP is generally just about getting attack upgrades. You don't really worry about armor. Although, check it out. Mini is going for +1 armor. So fair enough. Stork now going for Storm. About 5 minutes after he got that Templar Archives. Definitely going for the DT stuff. First of all, now moving into Storm drops quite possibly. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, Protoss Protoss music is usually more atmospheric, I'd say, than Terran music. Zerg player also, I guess, kind of atmospheric too, but Protoss, it just makes me feel like I'm on Ire. You know what I mean? I know Ire's dead, but it's like everybody walking around doing their stuff during the day for Protoss when they lived on Ire. Just heard this soundtrack running all the time. Well, it'd drive you crazy, to be honest. But 139 to 129 supply. Stork has the lead. Again, this third base being denied and delayed is a pretty big deal for the red Protoss. Third base has been happily mining for quite some time over here on the right side of the map. And just kind of dancing about is Stork. He wants to make sure he knows if drops are coming. He's got vision in all sorts of weird places to see if any drops are moving anywhere across the map. And so far, I don't know if there's a safe place to go if you're the shuttle that we saw earlier. Where is that thing? It might have actually tried to get out and got picked off when I wasn't watching it very closely, because I don't think... Is it here anymore? I mean, you don't really want the shuttle to sit at home. The whole point of the shuttle is that you're out and about doing things. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. So it didn't get killed. Looks like it took some shots, though. Took some shots as it tried to move out. Yeah, I like what Stork's doing. He's at 168 to 151 supply. He's just pulling it further and further ahead of his opponent. Looks like he wants to take a 4th base now at about 13 minutes, and there it is. 4th base coming up quite nicely. 168 supply. Man, this macro for Stork has just been out of this world. 170 supply and 4 bases in 14 minutes from Protoss. Not too shabby. Not even the tiniest bit shabby, if you ask me. Ooh, that wasn't good. That was not good humming. I'll shut up and I'll let the majesticness of the soundtrack carry you for a minute. Hey, look, double Reaver drop made it through the defenses. Zealots in the mix too here. Cannons in a lot of trouble. Once the cannons are gone, the base might be actually forfeit here. Bam! Big time hits. Here comes a High Templar trying to do... Well, I don't know what he was going to do other than get murdered by a Reaver shot. But yeah, check this out. A lot of stuff is happening here. Going after the upgrades is a pretty good idea. I'm loving that. Could deny shields level 1 and attack level 2 if he keeps hitting it. Also going after the pylon to depower these. If he can't deny them, he can at least delay them. And he does manage to get out here. Zealots can't finish off the forge, but maybe a bit of a drop-in could make it happen. Meanwhile, Stork's army's been kind of doing nothing. He should actually be able to deny this 4th base attempt down south. Meanwhile, DT drops doing their work over here at the 9 o'clock position in Mini's base. So both players taking some serious hits to their economies right now. And possibly to their upgrades. Go in there, Stork? I know Stork's attention is probably elsewhere at the moment. Where's the... oh, that observer. Man, that observer detection range is nice. So yeah, Mini is going to go have to ahead and... Reaver shots up here that we can't quite see because the thing's in the way. Hey! They're still doing things here. Oh, man, they're going to get the forges, aren't they? If they focused on the forges, they could get the forges. Getting some probes, kind of one-shots, though. Not exactly what you want to be seeing there. And, yeah, the 4th base is denied by Stork's forces. Mini manages to shut that down. I think Stork, man, he's down, though, in supply. This is a really good game. Mini has overall supply here. His storm drops are doing some pretty good damage, especially over here at Mini's 3rd base. The 4th base has been pretty much untouched as far as I can tell, but again, it's not really saturated either. And the Reavers are back. They do get the forge. They do deny that armor upgrade that he was working on. Man, he keeps exploding on mineral stuff, though. Trying to get the pylon. Try to get the guaranteed damage. Oh, did that one not hit? Doesn't it take 2 Reaver shots? Oh, one of the Reavers does go down. Oh, and the pylon is alive with 13 HP. At least temporarily here. Man, this shuttle keeps freaking me out, but there's nothing in it. Okay, we're going to stop worrying about that there. So we have seen some drops from both of these players. Reaver drops. We have seen storm drops. We've seen DT drops in the mix here too thus far. This is exactly what I expect out of a PvP battle. And we're not done yet, you guys. We're at 186.25 supply at 17 minutes. Means we are very, very close. This battle, one big battle could end it, I suppose, but man, both these players smart enough to not really engage in one big battle unless they don't have to, or if they're going to have to, then they should really do it inside, inside of a defender's advantage situation here. Man, that 4th base is just now getting replanted from Mini. Stork's 4th is happily running, and again, a bunch of probes did get killed at the 3rd, which is problematic, but it seems the saturation is fine pretty much everywhere. Yeah, it's pretty much fine everywhere right now. Stork pushing on down, 200, a maxed out army supply. It's time to get some battles going. That's when you want to attack. If you have a maxed out army, attack. If you sit back and wait, you might let your opponent catch up to you in overall economy and army supply. More storm drops at the 4th base. Shutting that down pretty effectively. I think there were 2 probes here, which is not great. But yeah, here is the battle that we are talking about. The maxed out versus maxed out battle. Who's going to come out on top here? They're both about 190 supply. We'll see who comes out when all is said and done. Archons are not there. You go. Trying to get to the front lines here. Storming on top of everybody's army. Zealots taking some serious storm. That's the target you want if you're going to be throwing down Psionic Storm, though. Man, the storming is just consistent here. The Archons for Stork look like they're winning out. And Stork's at 146 while Mini is at 106 total supply here. He's going to at least deny that 4th base, really setting himself up nicely to win this game. Now is Stork attacking up the ramp. We've got Archons in the mix, trying to snipe off those High Templar. They are high priority targets on the other side of the battle. Another High Templar gets sniped off. Nicely done. Stork's up a full 40 supply right now. 40 plus supply. Does manage to sneak a ninja 4th base, though. There's Mini. He knows he can't expand here because the army is proximity, but he does manage to sneak one over in this direction. Oh, man. If he can trick Stork into thinking that he only has 3 bases, that'd be a pretty big deal. I mean, he's still down, right? He's still down big time as the income. Still happening here, man. I just... like a mineral line gets stormed, and then suddenly everything's fine again fairly soon. It's going to be attempted storm drop on this high ground. Sneaking around, but can you unload back there? I don't think so. That's not an unload spot. This is, though, but it's in range of the cannons. You're going to maybe try to storm to the 3rd base instead. Once again, cannon placement pretty good. Oh! Shuttle goes down. I think one of the High Templar in there must have died. If there was one in there, he's dead now, but one does manage to get a storm off, kill a couple probes, but again, not again enough to get back into even with Stork. Stork is just killing it up 50 supply. If he could find this base, he'd probably win the game, but he's not doing a very good job of finding it. I mean, going down this way, it's not something he wants to do. He wants to come up to the middle of the map instead. More Dark Templar in production from Stork. He's been relying on that tech pretty consistently throughout the entire game as a harassment unit for the most part, and really that's what they are. Although I suppose if you can pick off your enemy's observer, they're pretty good at sitting in the middle of units and just hacking stuff to death with their 45 damage per shot Psy Blades. That upgrades too. That does upgrade with your attack upgrades. What are we looking at? 3 attack is done for the red here, and let me guess, 3 attack. No, 2 actually done here for Mini, and he's working on 3. It's going to be done here any second now. So he does actually value armor upgrades, which is going to help him in battles. Not in that last one, mind you, because Storm ignores armor, and a lot of the damage that he took in that battle was Storm. And maybe that's why. Maybe that's why in PvP you don't see players go for that armor upgrade all that much, is because Storm neglects to care about it, and it gets through anyway. Both players' armies are in different positions on the map right now. Mini is coming into Stork's 4th base. Cannons are going to try to hold off for the most part here, trying to get a Storm attack off while attacking the front door. Several probes go down there. 4 kills on that High Templar. Storm the probes as they try to retreat there too, storming the incoming reinforcing units. High Templar taking some of their own medicine, getting stormed in the face there too. Bam! So many High Templar dying here for Mini. He's got several more back here though, and this is a weird choke point. Almost should... Can he afford to kill that pylon so we can get through here? I don't know. He's splitting his army. Is that on purpose? I don't think it is. Are these DTs? Yeah, man. Stork did manage to get some DTs over here. They are so small on that mini-map. But we got there in the end. Big time. Storms being thrown back and forth. Are we out of Storm now? Is the question of the day. No, we are not out of Storm. We have more if y'all want them. Here from Mini's army, but not actually tossing them down as much. And once again, Stork manages to win that engagement. The Archons in the front doing huge damage, especially to those Zealots. DT's, where is it? Is it still over here? It's still over here. He's trying to take down the main Nexus. He's not going to get it, I don't think, based on the fact this army's moving over this direction. Do you not have an observer? One's in production. It's not there yet. Oh, he's distracting the DT so it doesn't take down the Nexus. That was pretty good stuff. DT AI dumb. Hey, look, we found the secret 4th base for Mini. Stork did. He's going to kill it, too. Oh, High Templar trying to... Interesting attempt. I mean, they can't run away, so might as well get some storms off in an attempt to save this 4th base. But nope, this is too much Protoss and not enough cannon for Mini. You're going to lose this thing, which is a huge problem. Stork did have a 5th base up north. DTs from Mini found this one, but that's not a big deal. Just fine. As Mini's now on 3 bases. Technically, Stork is on 4 bases. It's 2 mining bases to 1 mining base is the most important thing here, though. Yeah, 147 and 106 supply. I don't know what Mini can get up his sleeve right now to win this thing, but... Oh, the cannon. But there's an observer. I know you want to kill the cannon because I think it's only detection, but it's not. And the DTs are wiped out. So Stork wiping out a base is pretty good stuff. 1 base of income here for Mini. He's trying to expand down to the 6 o'clock position, where he's tried to go several times before. It hasn't really gone that well for him. Stork has the high ground. Don't try it, Anakin. And Stork's actually long-distance mining from his dead 5th base, which, sure, I guess. He has the money to replace it if he wants to. I don't know if he can really defend it is the problem. He has some units back home. And he's got an observer, too. I don't know. I guess the observer is playing defense observation duty here, up here on the high ground, but whatevs. Yeah, man. Stork's up 166 to 124 supply. Does he have any... He's got the +1 armor upgrade and +1 shields, too, now. Which is nice. Still the 2-2. Wait. I thought he was getting... Did that get denied? That might have been denied. I don't know. Alright, so no southern base here for Mini, but the army of Mini is now but Stork's 4th base. Again, it's been his favorite target of the day, wiping out several of these probes. They're not getting pulled in time here. Maybe 2 of them will escape the carnage. Perhaps even 3. Wow, the 3rd one does manage to make it out of there. So the base is going to get wiped out. And Stork's like, alright, if I can wipe out this army, of minis. I think I've got this thing won. I can sack that base. I'm making a new one up north. It should be just fine. I did take down Mini's attempt at his own 4th base. Dragoon's just sniping from distance. There's nothing shooting them, so I might as well get some free shots off. Archon does go down. And then Storm catching his own Zealots more than anything from Mini. That hurts. That hurts a lot. And Mini very intelligently backing out. Doesn't let himself get trapped over here on the right side. His army is his army. He needs to keep it as alive as possible. And then storm the units that are chasing after you so they don't feel like chasing after you anymore. That's some pretty good countermeasures there. Countermeasures there, yes. Okay, so Stork's 5th base is going to come in. The long-distance mining probes can stop long-distance mining, and Stork is in a position to shut that down. Or defend it, rather. How do you get rid of this Kadarian crystal formation? I forget. Do you have to mine from it, or I can't remember. I can't imagine you attack it because it shows neutral. I don't know that you can. All right, so Mini's income is kind of in the toilet right now. He's not looking good. He's down 172 to 91 oversupply. It is 2 mining bases right here for Stork versus 1 mining base for Mini. Okay, and here's the defense. Mini. Oh, he split up his army, though. Interesting. Okay, so he drew all of Stork's army this way, which means there's not... Well, you know what? Stork actually split it up really nicely, too. This is a pro-level scout, man. I mean, this is just Stork recognizing that Mini's got his army in 2 different places. He can win both of those engagements with each half of his army here. Yeah, so Mini's forced to retreat in shame. He has to get the heck on out of there. Archon's just getting huge shots off on anything that's retreating. That Archon gonna die for Mini. And I think this might be it. Dark Templar from Mini do come up to try to even the odds a bit. Because, there's your detection. All right, so Stork does have an observer here. The DT recognize that. They get the heck on out. Storm's getting tossed down on something I don't actually... Oh, there we go. Some high ground storms here. Man, storms are really good in PvP. They're really good in every matchup, honestly. Mini trying to hold his own here. Got the DTs in the mix. The Archon's pretty good. And that's your good game. Mini taps out and Stork is your winner in 26 minutes and 15 seconds. Yeah, that was a good entertaining PvP. Really fun to cast. Hope you enjoyed it too. Hit that like button if you did. Just sometimes people need a reminder. Like helps me get seen by other people on YouTube. Helps the algorithm on YouTube give me some more visibility. So like would be great. But man, what an absolutely great game that was. Not as many drops, I don't think. I guess this base got dropped quite a bit. Mini was more committed to the dropping, I think, than Stork was, although he did go for the DT drops a couple times. But I never went for Reavers once in the game. It was all just his own High Templar in the mix, and then Dark Templar for sneaky harassment stuff, and then just a lot of Archons, man. A lot of Archons, very good. Zealots with legs and good upgrades. His own Storms, his own Dragoons for that just attacking from distance thing. And then map positioning, as always, in Brood War was really important here today. Just recognizing, all right, so if I can get down here and take down this base while simultaneously taking a base up north, that'll keep Mini busy. How do I have to split my units to defend against Mini's simultaneous pronged attack against my 3 o'clock base and my 12 o'clock base? And he did it well. He just did it fantastically. The micro in the battles was good, continually making stuff, 6 Dragoons at a time. On the way from Stork here. Mini's income, again, was just in the basement. It was gone. He didn't have any more. And in the end, Mini gets the win there. So nicely done. Well played for sure. All right, let's check out that final score. I know people like to see that. Overall, 219,000 points for Stork, 190 out of Mini here. Both players producing about the same number of units, but Stork killing more and losing less. And then overall, 88 units constructed here. Buildings constructed. Raised 22. Mini raised more than Stork did. And as always, yeah, we're seeing this. More gas mined, more minerals mined, and more spent here by about 3,500 for Stork overall throughout the game. And that's just the function of being on more mining bases than Mini was for a lot of the match. Not the whole time, but enough. Definitely enough. All right, cool stuff. That's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of Starcraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You could also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.